Hi, it's Hope and welcome video. This is going to be my review slash book talk of Under Shifting Stars by Alexandra Latos, and this book I was lucky enough to get an arc of, and I'm actually filming this in July even though this is being uploaded in September. But I am just going to talk about the book and things I liked, and I'll start off with briefly explaining the book and then going into more details of things I liked and all of that. First I want to mention that this book was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it. And this book follows twins Claire and Audrey, and this starts 10 months after they've lost their older brother Adam, and it's them still dealing with the grief of that along with their relationship not being good. Over the past few years, their relationship has slowly gone downhill, and then after Adam died, it went very, very bad. We have Claire, who is this popular girl in high school, and she has popular friends who are more of her fake friends, and after Claire starts becoming interested in a non-binary student named Taylor in Claire's class, Claire starts to question what she's known. And then we have Audrey. She goes to the special ed school because she is autistic and ADHD and just did not fit in a normal school she did not fit in with a normal school. And the story is just them kind of figuring out their individual problems and then eventually, for reasons, coming together. Now, from here on, everything is going to be really, really spoilery, and kind of explaining the plot of the book in detail and things that I like. But so this is your warning. Everything said before, it really wasn't spoilery. But I want to first talk about Audrey, because I have, I think, not the least amount to say to her, but the least amount to say about her. I have never read a book that has a main character be autistic, let alone a female that is autistic. And just the way that, because you see through her point of view, the way that something's happened, I'm like, is that actually what it's like? If so, that is just a different perspective than what I'm used to. And I really liked it. I really liked Audrey as a character, but sometimes she did feel a little needy, and I don't know. But I don't have much to say. Her story, the way she meets this boy at a park and befriends him, and that kind of goes from there to a relationship, and I like that because it shows that, hey, she's different, but she's not different. And all that. I preferred Claire's point of view than Audrey's, so now I'm gonna move on to talking about Claire and her point of view. And Claire, how do I describe her? Everything kind of starts off with just Claire being normal until she ends up going down to her brother's room to just reminisce and all that, and then ends up finding his phone, unlocking it, and finding a precarious video involving her brother's ex-girlfriend. And that kind of makes Claire start to think other things, that makes Claire start to maybe question her sexuality and all that, and then things happen where it's eventually Claire's not necessarily questioning her sexuality, but more of her gender identity and all of that. And I am using the pronouns her for Claire, even though she does end up identifying as gender fluid, because that is the pronouns that she goes by the entire book. There's never a question on what's her pronouns, because she always goes by her, she, and all of that. But the way that Claire story of her figuring out that, oh, she's gender fluid, that some days that she wants to dress in, like, she starts dressing in her brother's clothing and she likes that, but then there's some days that she wants to wear more feminine clothes, wear makeup, and that's okay. But Claire takes a while to realize that, and it's just, my brain is just going like 12 miles an hour and trying to figure out what to say. But the way that both Claire and Audrey each have their individual stories, but then they have the story of them trying to be sisters again, because after Adam died, Claire blames Audrey for his death, because the only reason that their brother Adam died was because Adam was going to pick up Audrey from a karate class that she wanted to leave early from, and Adam decided to go pick her up and got into a car accident and ultimately died. So Claire blames Audrey, Audrey blames herself. So it's them kind of towards the end of the book figuring out, like, I don't blame you, I shouldn't blame myself. We need to be sisters again, even though we haven't for a while. I need you in my life and all of that. I've probably missed so much. I also loved how this takes place in a city that I've been to. This takes place in Calgary, Alberta, which I've never read a book that takes place in Canada, I don't think, let alone a city that I've been to. Yes, I was 6 years old when I went, but still, I found that cool when it mentioned Calgary. I was like, wait, I've been there! And I found that interesting, and just everything about this book is really good because it deals with family, friendship, self-expression, and identity, all of that, and I'm missing so many things. I know that, but my brain is just like fried almost on like what else is there to say that isn't me just being like, hey, this is the entire plot. But I just really enjoyed this book. It was such a, for what topics it dealt with, it was a fun and cute read. Like, it was a very easy, light read, even though there was the topic of death. But I feel like the topic of death and overcoming death needs to be talked about. Because as someone who has lost multiple people in her life, I feel like reading about grief and all that makes me feel like the emotions that I felt and still do feel are valid and are needed to be shared with young readers, that, hey, if you lose someone, here's the many ways you could feel, or you could feel completely different. You could feel a mix of them, because it does show two sisters dealing with their grief in slightly different ways. Like, they're not grieving the exact same. So yeah, I'm gonna start like rambling even more, so I'm gonna leave this here. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you decide to pick up this book and read it, because it is really good. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!